Okay. KARI Lake. KARI Lake was called by CNN, quote, a rising star of the right wing and a proud spreader of lies. Not too surprisingly, KARI Lake, a candidate for governor in Arizona, was not pleased. And when CNN attempted to interview her, this is what happened.
Hi.
KARI.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Campbell off in CNN.
You don't have a mask on anymore. What's going
we're
on?
outside. Do you have a minute to
well,
chat?
we're 6 feet apart.
Do you have a minute to chat?
I'll do an interview.
Okay.
As long as it airs on CNN Plus. Does that still exist? I didn't think so, because the people don't like what you guys are peddling, which is propaganda. Thank you.
That's involuntary servitude.
Mic drop. Wow. Proud member of the right wing, proud spreader of lies. And these guys say stuff like that, and then they stick a mic in your face and expect you to be polite and genteel. Let me have that one more time.
Hi.
KARI.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Campbell off in CNN.
You don't have a mask on anymore. What's going
we're
on?
outside. Do you have a minute to chat?
well, we're 6 feet apart.
Do you have a minute to chat?
I'll do an interview.
Okay.
As long as it airs on CNN Plus. Does that still exist? I didn't think so, because the people don't like what you guys are peddling, which is propaganda. Thank you.
That's involuntary servitude.
There's no love lost between moi and CNN too. When I ran for governor, Joe Johns came out. We had a half-hour conversation. They used just a few minutes of it, not too surprisingly. And I was asked about mask mandates and vaccine mandates. And I was opposed to them. And I said that young people aren't likely to get the coronavirus. If they do, they're not likely to get sick. If they get sick, they're not likely to get really sick. If they get really sick, they're not likely to be hospitalized, and they're certainly not likely to die. All of which has been borne out. And Joe Johns, to his credit, played exactly what I said, and then said, but that's just not true, according to the CDC, yada blah, etc. Elder's wrong, elder's wrong, elder's wrong. And I was called a vaccine denier, when in fact I said over and over and over again, because of my age and because of my so-called comorbidities, I have been vaccinated and been boosted. But I was still called anti-vaccine. KARI Lake, bravo, extremely well done. Speaking of the media, new report from the Federalist. Get this. You know these people that are in the White House briefing room, the ones that ask questions of Jen Psaki and Karine Jean-Pierre. You know Democrats outnumber the Republicans that are there? Not by 2-1. Not by 4-1. Not by 5-1. Not even by 10-1. By 12-1. And you notice when you watch the briefings, they go around the room. Questions are relatively soft, given the fact that we've got record inflation, highest in 40 years. Most porous borders of any border in the whole world right now. Gas prices doubling over the last couple of years. 85% of Americans believe we're on the wrong track. 67% of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run again in 2024. Disastrous pullout of Afghanistan. And the questions are still relatively mild, considering all the things that are going on in this country. Ever notice that the only difficult question ever asked of any of them is asked by Peter Doocy of Fox News? Now, this has been going on for a long time. There was a project done by State University of California at Los Angeles, revealed a poll of 1,000 journalists, 1982, Ronald Reagan's president. Only 25% voted for Reagan, 75% did not. Another assessment in 1995 found that 89% of reporters voted for Bill Clinton. 89%. Those are the good old days. Now, Republican reporters are outnumbered in the press corps 12-1. Did you hear about this black conservative UK candidate for prime minister? Her name is Kemi Badenoch. She's a Tory. And she entered the contest to succeed Prime Minister Boris Yeltsin, who announced his resignation. She's been accused of enabling the white supremacy A left-wing political commentator said this: her, quote, power-grabbing ambition is rooted in discrediting and delegitimizing anti-racism efforts, denying systemic racism, whitewashing the British Empire, and enabling white supremacy against black people. She can crawl back to her mother, end of quote. I guess this candidate's not in her will. But as you know, the most hated political category are black conservatives. The only thing worse than a white conservative, as I said before, is a black conservative. The only thing worse than a black conservative is the black conservative who used to be angry like Clarence Thomas once was. Saw the light. It undermines everything the left believes. Racism remains a major problem in America. The unequal outcomes are all because of systemic racism. Government needs to ride to the rescue in order to level the playing field. And to have a black person come along and say, actually, racism has never been a less significant problem in America. Actually, the real imbalance is a large number of black kids who enter the world without a father married to the mother. Actually, the real imbalance is a large number of people in our inner city schools who cannot read, write, and compute at grade level despite all the money being spent. Actually, the real problem is we need to have more choice in education. That undermines their entire philosophy, because remember, the Democratic Party has not won the white vote at the presidential level since 1964. I repeat. At the presidential level, the Democratic Party has not won the white vote since 1964. How do they survive? They survive by telling people of color, blacks, Hispanics, and Asians, that you're victimized. And therefore, they get that 95% or so black vote, or used to be monolithic black vote, is now changing. Around 70% of Asians have always voted for Democrats, and about that number of Hispanics have. Those numbers are changing and changing dramatically over the last couple of years, but that's how the Democrats stay in power. And along comes this conservative Tory candidate. Along comes the great Aldersky running for governor of California. Along comes Winsome Sears, lieutenant governor of Virginia. And they go absolutely ballistic. And that is why it is perfectly okay for left-wing people to refer to Clarence Thomas as an Uncle Tom. Joy Reid called him an Uncle Tom on MSNBC Hee Haw. Bernie Thompson, the chairman of the January 6th committee, referred to Clarence Thomas as an Uncle Tom. And as I just now mentioned, Samuel L. Jackson referred to Clarence Thomas as Uncle Thomas. By the way, Samuel L. Jackson is arguably the most successful actor in Hollywood history. If you add up the box office of all the movies he's appeared in, his box office grosses exceed those of any other actor in American history. And still he engages in BMW, that stands for blank, moan, and whine, over and over and over again about systemic racism. Hope you enjoyed that video. The full show is available to watch right now on Epoch TV. Just click the link in the description below to learn more, because we've got a country to save.